Hello. Now I have machined my seam. As you see, I did it in red, but make sure you do it in the color of your top fabric. So that all machined up to my cuff, and I stopped right here. Okay, so the next part would be is pressing. As I said, every time I'm machined, I press that seam. So that. They use, if you don't have a good steamer, so use a wet or a damp cloth, put it over, and then press it. So to one side, now do another side as well. Okay, now after when you've done that, the seam will be open. So I use a sleeve, iron board for sleeves. You can easily get them and buy them, the domestic one. Okay, if you don't have it, just roll a lot of paper and then cover it in fabric, and then you just put inside to, you know, to protect yourself from the heat, and use that, a bunch of roll, and so you can iron it on top. Now, so I'm going to press my seam open. So start from the top. Here's a good time to take your tacking out. Say when you press, so it doesn't go over, it doesn't leave any marks. I think that's only that one. So just clean it up. And to move over, so you can see now here, and I continue pressing open right to my cuff. Okay, now I just move there. Now with the cuff, because we have one overlapping to another, now we cannot press our seam open because it's attached. Yeah, can you see that? It's folded. So the same like we did in another one, we're going to unpick on the seam line, that manner. So you can release your seam open like that. And as I said before, it was much easier for me to explain to you when it's machined, and then so you can unpick later on. Okay, so you release that. So can you see that? So if I just come closer to you, so it was like this. So I just unpicked to for me, in order to open my seam. See, it was attached like that, and I couldn't open it flat. So for me to do that, so I need to unpick in the seam. So I've got seam, which is attached with the cuff. So I'm picking that, so you can see. Yeah. So that's, so you can see. Yeah. So I'm pick here. Now I need to secure, so otherwise again it's going to be a hole. So that's kind of one of the most important thing, is securing. Secure my stitchings here. Do it straight away, because if you leave it and you think, you know, I'll do it later when I'm going to do all the hand sewing, you will forget, and it's actually start to get bigger hole and start to get, and it's difficult to secure. That's it. So that's secure. I'm just going to take all the red threads. And now if you look, Okay, so if you look closer, so now I'm going to open my seam here. Okay. And just get a little bit more light so you can see. Okay. Can you see that? Okay, now my seam is completely open. Okay. Okay, so you pick it in order to open it. And outside, in your calf, it goes one on top of each other. Okay, so that will be open so that on top of each other. Okay. When you've done that, now we need to secure that area, but I'm just going to give another good press. That's in. To make sure also the seam allowance doesn't print on the other side. So good press all over. That side. Perfect. Just move that out of the way. Right. We can see what I've done. Okay, absolutely perfect. Now, here, right at the bottom, where the vent goes, one on top of another, you can leave it as it is, but I personally like to snip into my seam allowance here. So if I just come close again so you can see, I like to snip into my seam allowance. So that seam allowance, from that, I'd like to snip it so I can release it. So yeah, so it's my seam allowance. I like to take this out and snip it here in order to release my seam so it's much flatter. So you see that? Yeah. So that, I'll just show you again. My seam allowance here. So take that out so they're not folded and all together. Snip that in the corner here in order for me to release it flat. So now I've released it flat. You see that? Do exactly the same on this side. So you've got this side, if you can see, and you go inside, and then you seam allowance here. So it's I think it's very difficult for you to see, guys. So it's don't really know if you've got lighting or not here. So do you know what, guys? I'm going to get some more lighting. I'm going to show you again how to snip in here in the next episode. This is quite difficult to see. This is quite dark. So I'm going to bring some more lighting and see you in the next episode. Bye.